Welcome to the channel. Today I want to open your eyes to one of the biggest lies you've ever been told. That cholesterol is the heart's greatest enemy. For years, perhaps decades, you've heard that high cholesterol kills, that it clogs your arteries, that you need to lower your levels at any cost. And if you've ever left an appointment with a statin prescription in hand, you're not alone. Millions of people take these medications every day, believing they're treating the problem. But what no one told you is that cholesterol is not the enemy. Quite the opposite. It's essential for your survival. Your own body produces cholesterol, for good reason. It's the raw material for hormones like testosterone, estrogen, and cortisol. It participates in the production of vitamin D, which regulates the immune system, metabolism, and bone health. It's also present in all the cell membranes in your body. Without it, your cells simply don't function. It also helps with fat digestion, as it's a fundamental component in bile production. What's more, cholesterol is part of the myelin sheath, which protects your nerves, allowing your thoughts, movements, and reflexes to happen with precision. In other words, cholesterol isn't a villain. It's a protector as long as it's in the right context. But then comes the question, why has it been so demonized? Before 1987, a total cholesterol level below 300 was considered normal. But when the first cholesterol-lowering medication was released, coincidence? No. What happened was a high-level marketing ploy. The guidelines were created by experts, and most of them had financial ties to the laboratories that sold statins. With this sudden change, more than 10 million people were considered sick overnight. And with each new version of the guidelines, the acceptable cholesterol level decreased, creating more and more clients. Over time, the focus shifted from total cholesterol to LDL, the so-called bad cholesterol. With each update, the acceptable LDL limit was lowered. What was normal became borderline, but what was borderline became high. And anyone who was high became a direct target for prescriptions. Today, if you have LDL above 100 or total cholesterol above 200, they already consider you a candidate for medication. But here's the fact that dismantles this theory. More than half of heart attacks occur in people with cholesterol below 200. What's really behind heart disease isn't cholesterol itself. The real enemy is something else: chronic inflammation, insulin resistance, and oxidative stress. These three elements are what damage LDL cholesterol, leaving it small and dense and, therefore, dangerous. This damaged LDL can infiltrate the artery walls, where plaque formation begins. But this doesn't happen with large, fluffy LDL, which is harmless. And therein lies the danger of statins. They reduce normal LDL, but they don't resolve inflammation or improve LDL particle size. In other words, they attack the messenger, but ignore the message. Therefore, the routine tests most people undergo are very limited. Ideally, we should go further and perform tests that truly reveal the true risk. For example, the LDL particle test shows not only the quantity, but also the size of these particles. And this makes all the difference. The dangerous LDL is the small, dense one. Ideally, less than 20% of your LDL should be in this format. Another important test is the triglyceride to HDL ratio. When this ratio is less than 2, the risk is low. Above 3.5, the risk increases significantly. And if you follow a low-carb diet, this ratio is usually around 1, which is excellent. Fasting insulin is also a crucial marker. It shows if you have insulin resistance, even before it shows up on your blood sugar test. Ideally, it should be between 2 and 5, but labs will only alert you if it goes above 25, and then, my friend, you already have type 2 diabetes and don't even know it. Hemoglobin A1C is another important test. It shows your average blood sugar over the past few months. An ideal value would be below 5.3, but the alert only appears after 5.7, which is already considered pre-diabetes. And then there's ultra-sensitive C-reactive protein, which measures inflammation. Ideally, it should be below 1. The problem is that labs only flag something wrong if it's above 3. Cholesterol. It's a marker of inflammation related to liver metabolism. A level above 7 warrants attention. But again, the alert value only appears if it exceeds 15, when the damage has already begun. In other words, it's clear that the problem isn't cholesterol itself. It's the metabolic context in which it exists. And statins, in most cases, don't solve the situation. They only mask it. And what's more, statins disrupt the functioning of mitochondria, the body's energy plants. The result? Less energy for the organs that need it most, like the brain, heart, liver, and kidneys. The truth is, most people don't need medication to lower cholesterol. They need a more natural lifestyle. Eat real food, exercise, sleep well, manage stress, avoid ultra-processed foods, sugars, unhealthy vegetable oils, and excess alcohol. The body knows what it's doing. Cholesterol isn't the problem. What makes you sick is living in conflict with nature. If you enjoyed this content and want to continue learning what really matters for your health, subscribe to the channel, activate the bell, and share this video with someone who needs to hear this truth. And if you've ever had to take a statin or have questions about your cholesterol, comment below. Let's share our experiences. See you in the next video and take good care of your health. There's also home assistance.